You don't want to eat any of them on
Sure. Frank, some talent out there not wearing anything on his hand. I wanted to know if that's a recent development and where he stands on this comeback trail.
Yeah, he got his stitches out, and hopefully to have him start doing some shooting tomorrow. But still on track with the timetable that we laid out.
What about Kendrick?
Still on track with the same timetable.
Oh,
He's still not been doing it. Staying on it.
Wayne
Wayne is going to practice with the G League today. You have to assign him, by the rules or whatever, but it's just to go down to practice here. Just to get some live work. Our practice was just light script and film. So for him to get some live work, he's going to work with the G League today.
What affected you most about the defense last night?
I just think the commitment, we've been really harping on, the necessary ingredient of building an elite defense to achieve what we want to achieve this year. And it takes commitment. It's reflected in the number of deflections we had, 37. And deflections are indicative of your overall activity level. Your overall activity level is reflective of your overall commitment, to be great on that side of the ball. And, all those things were great for us last night.
When it comes to Russ's defense, he was expressing that traditionally he's maybe played more of the role that LeBron plays in your defense, sort of getting blocks, getting steals, kind of maybe he made it sound a little bit like that free safety role that LeBron has. Is it, what have you seen from him trying to make the shift to being a perimeter guy in your scheme and adapt?
Yeah, he's very coachable. He's trying to do what we're asking him to do, and it is a little bit different for him. I think for a lot of our guys, Ron, AD, Melo, Russ, it's a lot of their careers they've had a lot of dirty work guys around them, and that now they all have to support each other in that way, and really commit to guarding their own man and executing our scheme. And I feel like Russ is out of that.
No, not sequitur, but you had 32 points off of 27 turnovers yesterday. Is that a number you look at and see room for improvement? Is that a number that seems encouraging because you have some room to add to that, or what do you think of that number?
That's a good number. Are you just mean in terms of are we converting enough?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, a lot of those are, they don't necessarily always lead to breaks. You know what I mean? So that status can be a little bit misleading, but I think if our activity level is good and we're getting a third of our points off of good some turnovers, that's a good thing for us.
Mike Trudeau.
Hey Frank, just curious if you see what kind of differences you see defensively for LeBron in the small lineup versus the routine one, and just if it requires any more of him as a helper, and how that would go over the course of 82 games.
Yeah, I mean, his coverages can be different. It depends what the other team's lineup looks like. Sometimes they have 4 perimeter players and a big, and sometimes, like we saw last night, if he's matched up with someone like Christian Wood, who is a lot of times the screener in action more than the ball handler in action. So the coverages are slightly different, but I was really impressed that he seamlessly picked that up without any work, and just executed sort of the big man responsibilities as as guarding the screener as opposed to guarding the ball. He did it really well, but it's going to depend on matchups.
Bill Moore.
Hey Frank, after we talked to you last night, Melo said that he feels like there's a misconception about him in terms of his willingness to be adaptable throughout his career. And I'm curious, are there things that you've learned about him since he's joined you guys from maybe when his name first came up in the offseason that has impressed you or surprised you about him as a teammate or as just, somebody to have, in your program? Yeah, I think, first I'd say probably just the care factor on that side of the ball. Reputations are reputations, but he's had the mindset to come in and pull his own weight and then some on the defensive side of the ball and be part of a great defense.
So he asks good questions, make sure he's sharp with all of our coverages. And, I think the more specific thing is that, something you don't see when you're coaching against him is he's a great communicator defensively, which, you don't know that playing against him, but, he's really one of our best guys out there calling out the action, make sure our guards' feet are changing, when screen rolls are happening and things like that. And, if you got a great communicator on defense, that really helps everything. So I'd say those two things.
Davide?
Hi, Coach. Davide from Italy here. Melo Anthony. Hi, I'm good. You?
Good.
Melo is already in the conversation for Sixth Man of the Year, even if we're just 7 games into the season. Did you expect him to have such an impact so soon with your team?
I was really excited about signing him, and I thought he could have a huge role on our team. And he's off to a great start. So I don't think I should say I'm surprised. But this is what we were sort of hoping for with him coming in. And obviously, there's a lot of basketball still to be played. It's super early in the season. Hopefully, he can continue his early success.
I think Dave has a follow-up question.
Frank, you used the term swag with Rondo a couple years ago that you brought that element to your group, and Russ believes that he's able to kind of show that side of his personality at this stage of his entry into your group. What have you seen for that side of how Russ expresses himself and how the group maybe responds to it?
Well, yeah, I mean, he's someone that you have to account for, you know what I mean? And the intensity with which he plays the game, does give your team a certain level of confidence, like you referred to in the Rondo analogy. And I think that just benefits everything we're doing.
Thanks, Coach.
Yeah.
No, really good communicator.
Thanks, everyone on Zoom.
In particular.
My ball.